You're weaker than your father. Your father was weaker than his. This isn't genetics. It's theft. Testosterone levels have collapsed by nearly 50% in just 2 generations. Not by accident, but by the modern world we now live in. Modern solutions often fail. But long before clinics, prescriptions, and synthetic fixes, men used ancient methods that restored testosterone naturally, and they rarely ever failed. Here's the secret to our ancestors' strength. 1. Ashwagandha. In the morning, you can't get going. In the gym, weights feel impossibly heavy. It is a deep, grinding fatigue that sleep cannot fix. This is often the result of relentless chronic stress hijacking your hormone system. For thousands of years, Ayurvedic medicine has used a specific root to stop this drain, calling it the primary remedy for wasting diseases, conditions where the body literally consumes itself. Meet ashwagandha. The name ashwagandha literally means smell of the horse in ancient Sanskrit. The elders believed this root would transfer the pure strength, vitality, and stamina of a wild stallion to warriors recovering from brutal battle. They didn't have hormone tests, but they observed something undeniable. Men who drank this decoction in warm milk every night recovered their ohas, or vital energy, while others remained weak and depleted for months. Modern science reveals exactly how it works. When you are stressed, your body becomes a thief. It steals the raw materials meant for testosterone and uses them to make stress hormones instead. Ashwagandha stops that theft cold. It contains powerful compounds that calm your entire nervous system, allowing your testosterone production to resume naturally. In landmark studies, men saw their testosterone levels jump by over 96 points, moving many from deficient to healthy normal ranges within weeks. The pharmacy offers synthetic testosterone that shuts down your own production. Ashwagandha does the opposite. It removes the stress brake, so your body accelerates its natural output. The strength wasn't magic. It was pure biology, preserving metabolic resources for building muscle instead of breaking it down. The ancients were right. Stop what's holding you back. Sometimes the problem isn't that you don't have testosterone, but that your body can't use it. 2. Tongkat Ali. You might have normal levels, but still feel fatigued, weak, and old. This is the hidden trap of aging. Deep in the rainforests of Southeast Asia lies the solution. The locals call it Tongkat Ali, a root that hunters trusted to give them the strength of a tiger. The name Tongkat Ali translates to Ali's walking stick. While it refers to the plant's long roots, the elders used this name as a clever double meaning. It was their metaphor for restoring structural rigidity and sexual potency. They didn't need to understand blood proteins to see that older men who consumed this root regained the vitality they thought was gone forever. Science calls this free testosterone. Think of it this way: 98% of your testosterone is locked in a cage. It is there, but your muscles can't touch it. Tongkat Ali contains special compounds that pick the lock. They loosen the grip of the trapping proteins, releasing hormones to fuel your energy. It also stops your male hormones from turning into female ones. Clinical trials have shown a 37% increase in usable testosterone after just 4 weeks. Modern supplements try to flood your system with more hormones, which is often wasteful. This ancient root is smarter. It makes the testosterone you already have actually work for you. The walking stick name wasn't just folklore. It was a description of keeping your physical frame strong. It proves the tribes were right. True vitality isn't just about how much you have, but how much you can use. Once your testosterone is free to move, you need to ensure it can actually get where it needs to go. That requires flow. 3. Panax Ginseng. There is a specific kind of weakness that manifests as poor circulation and a lack of drive, both mental and physical. You feel cold, sluggish, and unable to perform when it matters most. This is a collapse of what Eastern traditions call yang. To solve this problem, we look to the ancient methods of the people of Manchuria. They used Panax Ginseng, known as the root of life. This herb was so revered that for centuries, only the emperor and his closest nobility were allowed to touch it. Legends say that Emperor Shen Nung tasted this root and declared it could sharpen the mind, and rebuild a weak body. It was the ultimate status symbol, not for its cost, but for its power. They didn't take it for a quick buzz. They took it to replenish their life force, or qi. The ancients believed that consistent use would prolong life itself, reserving the wild roots for those who held the weight of the empire on their shoulders. It was considered the supreme tonic for replenishing the deepest energy reserves of the body. The root of life works by telling your blood vessels to relax and widen, improving flow everywhere it matters. Simultaneously, it signals your brain's hormone control center to activate testosterone production. While modern medicine created a pills that forces blood flow mechanically, this root rebuilds the system that controls the flow naturally. It vindicates the ancient claim of being a panacea or cure-all. It doesn't just treat the symptom of erectile dysfunction, it treats the lethargy and hormonal silence that caused it. The emperor wasn't hoarding a superstition. He was hoarding a systemic biological regulator. While the emperor hoarded ginseng to rebuild his vitality, the Incan warriors used something far more dangerous. This root didn't just restore function, it unleashed something they had to control. 4. Maca. High in the Peruvian Andes, where the air is thin and survival is hard, grows maca. This is the root that Incan warriors consumed to survive the harsh environment and fuel their ferocity before battle. The legend of maca comes with a strict warning from history. It is said that after the Incas conquered a city, their commanders prohibited the soldiers from eating maca. Why? Because the root made them so virile and aggressive that they became a danger to the women of the conquered tribes. The ancients didn't just see it as food. They saw it as a potent fuel that had to be regulated because its effects on the male drive were so undeniable. Here's the strange part. Maca boosts libido powerfully, yet it often rarely spikes testosterone levels. It doesn't just dump more fuel in the tank. It tunes the engine. It contains unique compounds that wake up your body's ability to feel the hormones you already have. It flips a switch in the brain to improve your mood and energy, restoring the feeling of power. We obsess over lab results, but maca proves that how you feel matters most. The Incan ban on their soldiers wasn't a myth, it was a safety measure. This root proves you can bring back your fire without using synthetic drugs. It's the spark that reignites a fire you thought had died. Maca reignites your fire, restoring your desire, mood, and energy. But desire alone isn't enough. 5. Stinging nettle root. As men age, a new problem arises. The prostate starts to swell and hair starts to thin. This happens because your body starts turning your good testosterone into a toxic byproduct that attacks your hair and organs. You need a way to keep your hormones clean. Enter the stinging nettle. You know it as the weed that burns your skin, but medieval healers knew the root was the salve for the loins. In the Middle Ages, if a man suffered from weakness of the loins or urinary trouble, he would simply dig up nettle roots. Anglo-Saxon manuscripts specifically listed this plant as a remedy for vitality. It was used to clear blockages and restore the natural flow of the body. The science behind this is simple. Your blood is full of traps, proteins that catch your testosterone and lock it away so you can't use it. Nettle root tricks these traps. It dives into the cage instead of your hormones. This leaves your good testosterone free to circulate and do its job. At the same time, it blocks the process that turns your good fuel into the toxic waste that hurts your hair and prostate. It keeps your entire hormonal system running clean. Modern medicine treats these problems with pills that can kill your drive. The medieval herbalist used a root that protected the man without ruining the manhood. This proves the old stories were right. It acts like a booster for your natural supply. By blocking the bad chemistry, it proves that nature provided a solution for aging long before we invented the laboratory. Nettle protects the plumbing, but you also need to protect the factory itself from rusting out. 6. Ginger. Inflammation and oxidative stress silently kills testosterone. Your testicles are sensitive to damage, which shuts down production factories over time. You need a protector. Most people see ginger as a kitchen spice, but in the East, it is Vishwabhashaja, the universal medicine. It is the fiery root that has been protecting male health in plain sight for centuries. Confucius, the great philosopher, was never without ginger at his meals. He wasn't just being picky, he claimed it cleared the mind and eliminated dead tissue. In Ayurveda tradition, ginger is a key ingredient in Vajjikarana formulations, which are designed to make a man as strong as a horse. They recognized that heat inside this root was the spark needed to keep the reproductive fires burning. Ginger does 3 critical things for your manhood. First, it triggers the brain to send the direct go signal to your testicles to start production. Second, it helps move the necessary raw materials into the factory, so production can actually happen. Third, and perhaps most importantly, it acts as a shield. It scrubs away internal rust and waste, protecting the delicate cells that create your hormones. Human studies have shown a 17% increase in testosterone and a massive 47% boost in sperm movement. It's ironic that we spend fortunes on exotic supplements while ignoring the universal cure in our grocery aisle. Confucius's daily habit is vindicated by modern data showing ginger's role in reducing systemic inflammation. It acts as both a guardian and a stimulator. It proves that the most effective medicine doesn't have to be rare or expensive. It just has to be potent enough to protect the delicate machinery of manhood. Protection is critical, but sometimes protection isn't enough. Sometimes the body is so depleted, it needs raw materials to rebuild. 7. Safed Musli. You feel thin, frail, and empty. Stimulants in this state are dangerous. You need healthy natural substances. Deep in the Indian forests grows a tuberous root called Safed Musli. For millennia, tribal communities kept this white gold a secret, using it to cure impotence and physical fatigue. In Ayurveda, this root is called Divya Aushad, or divine medicine. It wasn't given to men who just wanted a quick thrill. It was prescribed to those who were emaciated or recovering from severe illness. The elders classified it as a shukral herb, meaning it specifically increases the quality and quantity of reproductive fluids. They valued it so highly that it became a major trade commodity, sought after to build substance in the body where there was none. Safed Musli is packed with natural building blocks that look remarkably similar to your body's own hormones. These compounds promote muscle growth, helping you build muscle and tissue. It combines this with a powerful immune-boosting effect. By strengthening the immune system, it frees up energy that the body can then redirect toward the reproductive system, significantly increasing sperm count and fluid volume. Modern bodybuilders often wreck their health with dangerous chemicals to get big. Safed Musli builds muscle while healing you. It proves the tribes were right all along. True male power comes from having a healthy body, not just a pumped up one. It doesn't give you a fake buzz like caffeine. It gives you the solid foundation to be strong. It is the difference between borrowing energy and owning it. Once you have the building blocks, you need to make sure the workers in the factory are actually awake. 8. Cistanche. As we age, the cellular machinery that produces hormones begins to rust and slow down. The factory is still there, but the workers are on strike. You simply need to get the factory running again. Legend tells us that Genghis Khan and his Mongol warriors consumed a strange parasitic plant to fuel their legendary conquests across the desert. This is Cistanche, known in traditional Chinese medicine as the stalk of Genghis Khan. The Mongols were conquerors who spent days in the saddle and nights expanding their lineage. They didn't rely on luck. They relied on Cistanche. It was revered as a premier yang tonic, specifically used to tonify the kidneys, which the ancients believed governed sexual power, bone health, and the aging process itself. They saw it as a source of endless endurance in a landscape that offered none. Science shows that Cistanche is a master of activation. It contains compounds that literally tell your body to build more of the machinery responsible for creating testosterone. These internal tools are the main holdup in the process. By increasing them, Cistanche expands the factory's capacity to produce hormones. It effectively reverses the slowdown that comes with age. We often think of aging as inevitable decline. Cistanche suggests otherwise. It vindicates the Genghis Khan legend by showing that you can physically upgrade the body's production line. It is not just about adding fuel, it is about repairing the engine. The ancient concept of tonifying the kidneys was actually a sophisticated understanding of hormonal support that we are only just beginning to map out. While Cistanche rebuilds the factory that produces hormones, this next root fixes the wiring that controls when and how you use them. 9. Akarkara. Premature termination of intimacy is a source of anxiety for many men. It is a nervous system issue, a short circuit between the brain and the body. In the West, Anacyclus pyrethrum was just a toothache remedy because it numbed the mouth. But in the Vajjikarana texts of the East, this root, known as Akarkara, was praised for a hidden talent, the ability to delay ejaculation and dramatically boost libido. The ancients observed that when you chewed this root, it caused a tingling, numbing sensation. They applied this logic to the reproductive system. They prescribed it not just to dull pain, but to master the force of emission. It was the secret weapon for men who needed to align their physical endurance with their mental desire. It was a control agent, allowing a man to last as long as he wished. Akarkara bridges the gap between the nervous system and the hormonal system. It contains alkylamides that stimulate the nerves, enhancing sensitivity while regulating the ejaculatory reflex. But it doesn't stop there. Animal studies have shown that this root stimulates the brain to send stronger signals to the testes, leading to a measurable increase in both testosterone and sperm production. It improves both the hardware, testes size, and the software, nerve signaling. Modern medicine offers numbing creams that ruin the experience or antidepressants that kill the drive. Akarkara offers a solution that enhances drive and control simultaneously. It vindicates the ancient use of nerve tonics. By targeting neural signaling, it proves that true virility requires a connection between the brain's intent and the body's reaction, not just a hormonal flood. While Akarkara fine-tunes the connection between brain and body, this last root doesn't fine-tune anything. It overwhelms the system with pure force. 10. Bulbine Natalensis. Among the Zulu and Xhosa people of South Africa, there's a legendary remedy called Bulbine Natalensis. It is the heavy artillery of traditional medicine. Locals use the root and stem to treat intimate infections and to instill massive physical strength. The traditional knowledge carried a hidden warning. This was a tool for the warrior, not the weak. They understood that the most powerful remedies were double-edged swords that demanded respect. In the lab, Bulbine Natalensis behaves unlike any other herb. Studies on rodents have shown testosterone spikes of up to 347%, numbers that rival pharmaceutical steroids. It works by directly stimulating the Leydig cells and slashing estrogen levels. However, this surge comes at a cost. The same studies showed stress on the liver and kidneys, similar to what happens with oral steroid use. It is incredibly effective, but it imposes a tax on your filtration organs. It acts remarkably like oral anabolic steroids, such as Anavar. This stands as the ultimate proof that natural does not always mean gentle. You must be extremely careful. The protocol is strict. Cycle it for 4 weeks on, followed by 4 weeks off. Take roughly 600 milligrams based on body weight. Absolutely avoid this if you have any history of liver or kidney issues, and get regular blood work done if you choose to use this warrior's tool. So there you have it, 10 ancient roots that have been restoring male vitality for thousands of years, long before clinics and prescription testosterone existed. What's remarkable is how modern science is finally catching up, validating what warriors, emperors, and healers already knew. These roots work. The narrative that you're destined to weaken with age is simply false. And the testosterone collapse isn't natural, it's environmental. These 10 roots, from the stress-blocking Ashwagandha to the hormone-unlocking Tongkat Ali, aren't just supplements. They're the tools our ancestors used to stay strong, fertile, and vital in a world that demanded it. You don't need all 10. Pick the one that targets your specific issue. Start there. Remember to consult a healthcare professional before starting any supplement, especially if you're on medications. Some of these roots are powerful and can interact with pharmaceuticals. Ginseng, licorice, and nettle in particular have strong effects that require respect. If this was valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on natural health, backed by both ancient wisdom and modern research. Which root are you most excited to try? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear which of these remedies speaks to where you are right now. Let's reclaim what the modern world has taken.